Shalom. This is the book of Zephaniah, the third chapter, and the eighth verse, and it reads, Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak, Wadash. Next, double honors to the elder apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered abroad, even scattered amongst the heathen nations, that take on the appearance of the heathen nations. This is not a black thing. This is also not a religion of this world, but this has been given into the congregations of Jacob as an heritage. So the Bible, all right, as you would call it, these books, these scrolls that were put together, Bible, Biblio, book, all right, is only to the Israelites, all right? It's our heritage. It's our nationality. It's our history, okay? It's our bloodline. It's our history, which is no longer a mystery, and it is the promises of our future, okay? And it also does have the promises of the other nations' future as well, okay? Which is going to be in chains and the nobles being in fetters of iron, okay? But, yeah, this is Hawashai Nawana, just coming at you real quick on this whole Black Panther party crap, all right? And, just lay this down to rest, this is, it's folly, definitely folly. And, this is not your fight, okay? This is the Lord, all right? The Lord is making these chess pieces move, and it just behoove of you to shut your mouth, sit down, and put down your weapons and pick up the scriptures instead, all right? But either way, let's go on ahead and let's get to this. Actually, matter of fact, let me read this disclaimer real quick. All right, this is not for monetization. I don't monetize my videos or anything like that, but I'm going to read this copyright. Copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer. All right. So this is the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we'll listen to whatever it is that this bird song is talking about. We'll get some scriptures, and then we'll call that the video, all right? So without further ado.
What he's doing in the community in the name of the Black Panthers.
And our God, all right, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, is not a God of the community. All right?
Power to the people, Chairman Paul Burton from the Black Panther Party. Fourth Fact, the community defense duty. Listen, I want you to pay attention to the propaganda. So that video going around about me saying, hey, if an ICE agent run up on me, that ain't what happened. If you look at the video, you see I'm talking, and then he cuts to another scene, instead of showing me talking straight through, because it was chopped and spliced. So what I said was, if an ICE agent run up on me, whatever force they use against me, I'm going to use equal force to defend myself. Ain't nobody taking me nowhere or doing nothing to me. Then after that, I said, anybody runs up on me, anybody tries to do anything to me, I put a hole in the side of a window, save, let repair, save, let replace, because I ain't nobody's victim. Now, ICE agent ever run up on me, I guarantee you they won't. I'll put a hole in their chest the size of a window.
All right.
Paul Birdsong. That's right. Is he the new Black Panther, calling himself the Black Panther Party? And does it make sense what he's doing in the community in the name of the Black Panthers.
All power to the people. Chairman Paul Burton.
All right. So you heard him. All right, and this ain't the way. All right, Jake is gonna perish in this folly. All right, and whoever else is following with him. Okay, this is Esau's town. This is his world right now. It's been given him. Okay, and the sword is his blessing. All right, and Jake is out here walking around with their little swords and stuff, thinking that, you know what I'm saying, that you can go bullet to bullet and weapon to weapon with, you know what I'm saying, with the #1 heavyweight champ of blood in the earth. Okay. And that's been given of him. That's been given him from the Lord. All right. So lest you be found happily to be fighting against the Lord, because it's the Lord's will that these things happen. All right. Jacob's trouble is here. All right, and you're getting in the way. All right, Jake. And honestly, if you were wise, you know, you have that shit over at home, and you don't say shit about it. You got it. 2 Corinthians 10:3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through our power to the pulling down of strongholds. All right. Marching around this, not marching, all right, because that just makes you think of IUIC. But liken unto, you know, when we had marched around the city, all right, all that was done was yelling. All right, chanting. All right, and that's what we're doing. We're chanting and we are yelling. We're speaking the words of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, as it is written. We are sent amongst wolves as sheep. Be ye therefore as harmless, as wise as serpents, and harmless as doves. All right. Once again, 2 Corinthians 10:3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through our power to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of our power, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach, and having a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. All right. And even more so, you know, when the Lord, you know, does his perfect work on us, all right, we're definitely going to have the power in order to revenge. All right. That's what we're looking forward to. But we need to be given that power, and power's got to be taken out of their hands. All right. And the Lord is coming back to do those things. So this movement is going off. All right. Period. All right. Let's get some more scriptures and we'll shut this down. Of men, yeah, if it is of men, it'll be brought to naught. Actually, as a matter of fact, that's Acts. That's Acts the 5th chapter. Salakia. Let me look this up real quick. If be of men, it will be brought to naught. Yeah, Acts 5. Yeah, Acts 5 and 38. This man rose up. I'll read verse 37 and 38. Acts the 5th chapter, the 37th verse. It says, after this man rose up, Judas of Galilee, in the days of the taxing, and drew away much people after him. All right, so liken unto this dude. All right, he drew away much people after him. He also perished, and all, even as many as obeyed him, were dispersed. All right, so, you know, you can just imagine if these officers or whatever the case, they get a hold of his ass. All right. And believe me, when they do it, you know, they're going to have all kinds of lies behind it. They're going to have their propaganda. They're going to have had, you know, smeared you, a smear campaign on your ass out there. And it just all the stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know how Esau get down. All right. And Jake, you do bad on your own anyway. You know what I'm saying? As far as saying all these things that you're saying with your weapons out here in the street, you know, and acting like you're some kind of force to be reckoned with. All right. Your people are going to be dispersed, man, if they see what they freaking do, you know what I'm saying, and how they get down. They'll shut down your block. They'll come to your house. They'll drive a SWAT vehicle up to your shit. They'll throw a fucking boat anchor through your window. They'll pull down half of the fucking house and they'll collapse that bitch on you. No cameras on. Everybody standing afar off will watch and hear nothing but the 4th of July in your fucking living room, man. I mean, shit. You act like this ain't the fucking devil, man. All right. So, and now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel be the work of men, it will come to naught. All right, so this Black Panther Party crap, man, this is the work of men. All right, we read to you Zephaniah 3 and 8. Okay, wait ye upon the Lord, man. His determination is to gather the nations, bro. This is the Lord's show. All right, and now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel be for if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of our power, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, ye cannot overthrow it, lest happily ye be found even to fight against our power. All right, and that's what's happening right now, man. This whole Black Panther for the community movement, that shit is the work of men. All right, period. Point blank, end of fucking story, man. You're doing that revolution shit. Actually, as a matter of fact. All right, and Jake is, we're at the gates. Not even at the gates, man. We're a step in the door already. Jacob's trouble is already here, man. You're seeing it. You're seeing it. And now they have immunity, and now they can actually come into your houses now without search warrants. How about that shit? That sounds like Second Ezra, when it talks about they'll be robbing and pillaging, you know what I'm saying? Casting you out of your houses. Slakia. What was I getting right here? Oh, revolution, right. Let me look up the definition. Revolution definition. Revolution. It says a forcible overthrow of a government or social order in favor of a new system. And Jake think that, you have some rights to some laws or some shit like that, man. Shut up, Jake. All right? You have no idea what's getting ready to come your way, man. I would abandon that shit, drop your fucking weapons, put your weapons down, and pick the Bible up. All right? Go to the cellars, man. Go and get this wisdom before it's too damn late, man. Because we're already here, man. Travel not with a bold fellow, all right? You're a bold fellow. You're going to get these people killed. All right? Sirach 8. Let's go there. Ecclesiasticus, the 8th chapter. And the 15th verse. Well, the 11th verse too. All right, we'll read the 11th verse. It says, "Rise not up in anger at the presence of an injurious person." All right, so rise not up in anger at the presence of an injurious person, lest he lie in wait to entrap thee in thy words. And that's basically what, I'm saying, he had talked about. Is what he said. He said, oh, no, I didn't say it like that. You know what I'm saying? They snipped it, they cut it, they took that, and then they said that basically if they step up to me, then I'm just going to put a hole in them. All right? Now you're going to have a bunch of, a bunch of these freaking, I got many words that I was getting ready to say, but let me choose a different one. You have these, as you would call, racist people, all right, that are going to hear that, and they're going to love the opportunity to put their hands on your neck. They're going to, come on, man. You know how they get down, all right? Rise not up in anger at the presence of an injurious person, lest he lie in wait to entrap thee in thy words. And that's one of their first steps. They trap you in your words. They put out their propaganda, and then they come in and they seize you, and they do whatever the fuck they do. All right? But Ecclesiastes 8 and 15, it says, travel not by the way with a bold fellow, lest he become grievous unto thee, for he will do according to his own will, and thou shalt perish with him through his folly. And this is folly, all right? And whoever else is traveling with you, all right, they are going to perish, all right, through your folly, all right, because you're doing according to your own will and not the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, okay? So, yeah, be as wise as serpents, harmless as doves. I quoted it, but let's get it. Matthew, the 10th chapter. And the 16th verse, and it reads, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. All right. And why do we want to do that? Because the Lord says so, first off. And secondly, because is that not the wise fucking thing to do? You think you got power in this place? What does it say in Baruch? That we are yet this day. All right, Baruch 3 and 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power. Hear, Israel, the commandment of life. Give ear to understand wisdom. How happeneth it, Israel, that thou art in thine enemy's land? Jake, oh, I got a weapon. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to protest in the street. And I'm going to talk about how I got power to do this and power to do that. You ain't got no damn power, bro. All right. How happeneth it, Israel, that thou art in thy enemy's land, that thou art waxing old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead? You're behind enemy lines, Jake. You ain't got it like how you think you do. All right. Let's get Sirach. Let's go back to Ecclesiasticus, the 11th chapter. Get ready to shut it down now. Ecclesiasticus 11 and 30. It says, like as a partridge taken and kept in a cage, so is the heart of the proud, and like as a spy watcheth he for thy fall. All right. For he lieth in wait and turneth good to evil, and in things worthy praise will lay blame upon thee. Of a spark of a fire a heap of coals is kindled, and a sinful man layeth wait for blood. All right. So these sinful men out there that have weapons, that are out there wrongfully doing their damn thing, all right, they also sit here with all their surveillance equipment and everything else, all those cameras and shit like that, all the people that are great with videos that splice them and shit like that. They take the worst of whatever Jake say, they splice that shit together, they'll turn your good into evil, and they wait for your blood. They set up traps. He's the fowler, okay? So, you know, this Black Panther shit is going to be brought down to naught. You're going to get the people that are around you laid down in the worst fashion, all right? And, you know, and that's through your folly, okay? It's through your folly because you're going after your own counsel and not the counsel of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, all right? So, yeah, you're walking in the paths of your overthrowing. Let's get that, and then let's shut this down. Walk in the perils of thy overthrowing should be, actually it's in 13, yep, 13 and 13. Let's read verse 12 also. It says, but cruelly he will lay up thy words, and will not spare to do thee hurt, and to put thee in prison. You get that? So you doing all that talking with your weapon out, talking about somehow you a safe line replace, you know, talking about how you gonna put a hole in somebody. What did he do? He laid up your words. But cruelly will he lay up thy words, and will not spare to do thee hurt. Okay, you think when he gets you alone, he ain't gonna hurt you? You think when he arrests you, talking about some stop resisting, you just trying to breathe and shit? Stop resisting. Break your fucking arm, break your nose, soccer ball kick to the head. 2 more officers, 1 officer on each leg, 1 officer on each arm. Stop resisting. Put a taser in your freaking rib cage. All right? Baton the shit out of you. Turn the cameras off and shit. Golly, man. But cruelly will he lay up thy words, and will not spare to do thee hurt, and put thee in prison. That's if you make it down there. Observe and take good heed, for thou walkest in the peril of thy overthrowing. When thou hearest these things, awaken thy sleep. Awake out of your damn sleep, bro. All right? But fools hate wisdom and instruction, man. Actually, as a matter of fact, let's close on that. All right? Proverbs 1 and 20. Wisdom crieth without. This is 1 and 20. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates, in the city. She uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And you scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge, man. So out of all this walking around in the damn communities, and out of all the shit that you know of what's going on in the world, you mean to tell me that these people haven't come across the black Hebrew Israelites. All right. So anyway, points made. You know, this shit is folly, and it's gonna come down. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakak. Next double honors to the elder apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered abroad, even scattered amongst the heathen nations that take on the appearance of the heathen nations. This is not a black thing. All right, until next time, stay prayed up. All right, shalom.